How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord. Even from the depths of the ocean to the hidden lands of Wakanda, still your Elden Lord, aka the one who will sit the throne today, aka the guy who's here to give you my thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I watched it last night. I got home from the theater. I've been mulling it over. You know me. When I go to the movies, I bring like a notepad. I scribble down my notes. Try to, I don't come in here just trying to be like, whatever. It was bad. It was good. No, I try to have reasons behind it. I always do. And I want to start with a brief point before I get into this non-spoiler review. I will be posting a separate video, which will be a much more in-depth breakdown review with spoilers. But this review will be completely spoiler-free. Completely spoiler-free. It will be only things that you've seen in the trailer. So I just want to make that clear. No spoilers. But before I do get into my thoughts on this movie, I want to reiterate something. And I've gone on the record multiple times saying that I disagreed with the decision to not recast the role of T'Challa. I did. And I still do. Look, the passing of Chadwick Boseman was tragic. Absolutely. By all accounts, he was a good person, a good human being, which is more than you can say for the majority of Hollywood actors combined. It sucks that the man has passed away. But if it had been Robert Downey Jr. who had passed away before Iron Man's role in the story had been complete, I'd have felt the exact same way. I would have said recast him, recast the role. When Richard Harris passed away, when he, portraying Dumbledore in Harry Potter, they had to recast him. So I have made it very clear that to me, as much as it sucks to have lost such a talent and such a good person with Chadwick, they should have chosen another talented Black actor out there to fill the role. Not fill his shoes, because you're not going to be able to do that, but to make the role his own. Okay? Now that disclaimer is out of the way. Okay? Just wanted to put that disclaimer out of the way. What did I think of Black Panther Wakanda Forever? You all should know by now, I'm brutally honest. I don't mince words. I don't shy away from critiques. There will be people who are scared to badmouth this movie. They don't want to be called a racist or whatnot. And so they will toe the line as best as they can. I am not one of those people. Okay, I'm not. This movie was unfortunately not great. It was not great. And honestly, it was not good either. It was nowhere near from being good, which it could have easily have been. It was certainly one of the better films in Phase 4. Light years better than the previous entry, the previous MCU entry with Thor, Love and Thunder. But that's not saying much. Okay, the bar it's already that low. It's so low I would hope you can't get worse than that. It's an overly long mess. The entire plot, the entire thing that this movie focuses on and that gets the ball rolling makes no sense. It's full, and it's full. Let me tell you, when I say full, I mean to the brim, full of beating you over the head with preachiness. And there are side elements that serve to either hinder or outright harm this film. Okay. And I will say, there are some good points in this film. Letitia Wright and Angela Bassett, in my opinion, acted their asses off. Okay. Like a lot of people from my generation, I have loved Angela Bassett since her breakout role as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It back in 1993. Man, I tell you, we grew up watching that movie. How could you not? She was just so great as Tina Turner. And Letitia Wright as Shuri does well with what she is given here. Again, I'm not blaming her with what she is given here. She does well playing the role of a grieving younger sister who, she can't, not only can she not get over the death of her brother, but her own personal inability to have saved him. And kudos to her, considering the adversity that she had to overcome IRL when the jackasses of Twitter wanted to cancel her back in like 2020 because of her video that she made on vaccinations. Remember that? They were real quick to turn on her. They wanted her out of the movie. They wanted a recast. Now I'm sure the same people are going to turn around and say, "Oh, we love her." But there is very little else in this movie that has any luster, any shine. The plot is awful. The characters make decisions that make absolutely no sense. And there are plot holes galore. You could ride one of those humpback whales right through those plot holes, okay? And I'll get more into that in my more detailed breakdown. Like I said, there's no spoilers here. Namor and the bootleg Atlanteans / Na'vi, because that's what they look like, are the absolute shit show that you expected them to be. Oh, it's bad. They're really, like, they constantly tell you that Talocan, Namor's underwater kingdom instead of Atlantis, is as powerful as Wakanda, but this movie has a severe case of tell, not show. It's like, they keep telling you, like with Wakanda, I'm going to tell you right now, Wakanda, they tell you Wakanda's the most powerful nation on earth. Dude, they do Wakanda dirty in this film, okay? It definitely does not feel like the most powerful nation on earth, and there is no reason why Talocan feels like it should be the most powerful nation right next to Wakanda. They don't show it. They just tell you we're very powerful. Why? So it just, and I get that there are licensing issues that Marvel may not be able to, they might have like their hands tied and not be able to use the term like Submariner or the Atlantean. Though I'm not an attorney, I would assume you can't copyright the concept of Atlantis. I'm pretty sure you can because it's existed forever. But I don't get it because to me, it just feels like they just changed Namor's origin to be Namor to make it woke bullshit. That's what it feels like. And the fact that he introduces himself like that, like, my enemies call me Namor. Like, dude, sounds like he's straight out of a telenovela. Like something like my grandmother or my aunt might watch. And yet the problem is, the thing is that they go out of their way to say Namor, right? They explain why they're calling him Namor. But people in the movie multiple times call him Namor. They call him Namor. So why remake the character, period? Clearly, you're using the name Namor in the film. And again, I doubt anyone can own Atlantis, just like you can't own the rights to mythology. So to me, the entire remaking of Namor into Namor just screams of, we need to put more woke ideology into this film, especially with the dialogue in this movie, which is cringeworthy at times. It will make your soul cringe. And of course, we have to address one of the worst things of this movie, and that is the introduction of Riri Williams, also known as Ironheart, the supposed heir of Iron Man's mantle, even though, again, it's not a mantle. Riri is an insufferable character from the comics, and she can now join the MCU Hall of Shame with characters like Lady Thor, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, America Chavez, and, soon Miles Morales, aka the line of comics that tanked Marvel and helped make the Western comics into the failures that they are. And I want to show y'all, because some people are like, oh, who's Riri Williams? Dude, let me show you a introduction, like her line, which got canceled because, again, nobody wants to read this garbage, right? This is the character, okay? I want you to get an idea of what this is what you're going to be dealing with in the next few years in the MCU, okay? If the MCU even lasts this long. So she's talking to her teacher, hi. And teacher's like, this is quiet time, Miss Williams. And she tells her, I wanted you to know that I have decided what I will be when I grow up. Let's hear it. And she says, I'm going to be a scientist. Teacher's like, okay, cool. She's like, great. She's like, that's great. No, you're supposed to say, you mean like a nurse? And then I say, why would I say that? You're supposed to tell me nursing and teaching are noble professions and that people like me don't get to grow up to be scientists. Why would I do that? The teacher tells her, okay? And she goes, well, that's what they said to the first African-American female astronaut. Well, that was a long time. And she told him, no, I'm going to be a scientist. And then she did it. And then the teacher tells her, yes, that was a long time ago. Things were different back then. But because of people like her, true, a girl like you can do whatever you want, fly anywhere you want, and be anyone you want, right? So she tells the teacher, you're supposed to be oppressing me. You're supposed to be treating me like shit. And then she tells her, I was kind of hoping you'd tell me the opposite so I would have something to inspire me to prove you're wrong. Sorry, I can't help you. And then Riri just stands there like, Oppress me. Oppress me. Are you kidding me? So this is what you want. This is the type of character you want. You want to be oppressed. You want to be a victim. I don't get this. Like, I have lived. This is the kind of writing, the kind of character that you're in store for in the MCU with no doubt. You're already getting it heavily in this movie, right? I don't get what is this desire to be a victim. You know, my parents, like I've said, came from Puerto Rico with nothing, nada, never got a handout, never got anything. They busted their asses their whole lives for what they have. I've done the same. I have never in any way, shape, or form thought, man, I need to be oppressed so that I could get up in the morning. The hell thinks like that? Who thinks like that? You are, and I gotta tell you, in this movie, if you're white, you're either an idiot like Martin Freeman's character, or you're evil like everybody else. Okay, even the fact that Okoye is constantly, and I mean it, constantly calling Martin Freeman a colonizer, like he himself was responsible for the colonial period. It's just so offensive, so racist, that it takes you out of the movie. It does the film a disservice. That's like, I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm descended from the conquerors and the conquered. So that's like somebody coming up to me and be like, hello, slave. And I'm like, what? Well, your people, you know, a few generations ago, your people were. Oh, okay, but that was generations ago, bro. That's not me. So why the fuck am I going to go to some random white guy and be like, hello, colonizer? The dude, it wasn't a colonizer. It's that kind of stuff that rips you out of it. And yes, while there was a very touching tribute to Chadwick in the film, two of which I will say, which were very well done, I'm sorry, but that doesn't somehow shield this film from legitimate criticisms. Okay, it doesn't. It was a nearly 3-hour film that was too bloated and too focused on shoving its message down your throat. Okay, and it should have cut out several of the side characters, such as Riri Williams, and get rid of Everett Ross too. Do Namor correctly instead of this Mayan Aztec Namor that is just rehashing Killmonger's motivations from the movie. It's just, there were so many things that they could have done with this movie that actually would have been like, you know what? Even if it wasn't like as good as the first one, I would be like, okay, hey, at least it's bad. It's probably the best thing in the in Phase 4. No, they do too many things that actually hampered the movie. This movie is not the worst thing in Phase 4. It isn't. You still have the Eternals. You have Thor: Love and Thunder. You have Shang-Chi. You have Black Widow. It's funny. Phase 4 has two of the absolute worst Marvel movies ever. And probably more if I really sit down and compare them. Like, I should do like a tier list one day of MCU movies. But it has at least two of them, which is the Eternals, which I still think is the worst, and Thor: Love and Thunder. But like, again, it's not Shang-Chi, it's not Black Widow, but this movie isn't good either. It's below average at best. At best, below average. And that's giving it a lot of credit. That is giving it a lot of credit. Yes, Shuri, Queen Ramonda, and M'Baku. I love the guy, man. They do their absolute best, and they are the strongest points of this movie. But that is it. People will act like this is the greatest MCU movie that has ever been and will call you a bad person if you criticize it. But to me, this is a 3 or a 4 at best. Too long, poorly written, shit villain, bad side characters. Just the constant state of the MCU now. So anyway, this has been the TheNYCGeek. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now. And also while you're at it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, this has been the TheNYCGeek. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now. Also, while you're at it, please consider hitting that like, that share button, that freaking bell so you can know when another video goes live. Leave a comment down below. This is going to be very important. Let's have a discussion about the movie. I love to engage and chat with all of you. Again, I will do a breakdown one where I will put all these notes to use. I will. I wanted to get out a non-spoiler review and really sit down and go in depth into the movie as to why I didn't like it, and give you my reasons because I have them here. In fact, I haven't. It goes to the back of the page too. It's not that much on the back of the page. And if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/TheNYCGeek, where I do stream regularly on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I didn't stream yesterday because of seeing the movie, but I will be streaming tonight to make up for it. We're playing God of War right now, as well as follow me on that cesspool that is Twitter. It's not as filthy, but it's still a cesspool. And remember always, your time is precious. I thank you for sharing it with me. Stay safe. Take care of each other. See you guys next time. And don't feel like you have to love this movie. You don't. You don't. If you do, hey, okay, great. But don't feel like, oh man, if I don't like this movie, I'm a bad person. You're not. You're not.